What's up, everybody? It's time for an update on HoonTruck. There's a lot of things I want to do with this truck, including learn how to wrench on it myself, but there are things I can't do, which is why we've come to our friend Rick Radcliffe's shop. You might remember him from my Civic, which was fixed here, then broken here, then fixed here, then sold, then he flipped it, so good for him. Today I brought the HoonTruck here. Myself and his students are gonna learn how to fix a few things. We're gonna dive under the hood. We're probably gonna put on new wheels and tires, which could be pretty cool. And we'll see what else is broken that I'm gonna need to learn to fix down the road. So let's take a look at the truck.
The first thing we did was the easiest order of the day. It was time to remove the regular steel wheels and swap them out for some much more stylish, yet period correct looking for the truck, Kragers. We got these from our friends at LMC Truck, who have supplied a number of parts that you're going to see installed on this truck. The plan was to grab some new tires as well, but that's on hold at the moment. So for now, we're mounting the existing rubber onto the new wheels, which are 3 inches wider than the old wheels. We checked, and this fitment is still acceptably safe. There's no Stance Nation tire poke action going on here. Rick's shop has a semi-automatic tire changing machine as well as a balance machine. I tried my hand at the tire changer, but then I let the kids handle the rest of the work because, someone has to use the cameras, plus child labor. In order to fully understand the state of an engine, it's wise to undergo a compression test. This involves pulling all of the spark plugs and hooking the compression test tool to each plug hole. Once the tool is attached, you have someone crank the engine 4 or so times, and you need to take the initial reading, and then you grab the upper end reading during the cranking process. You repeat the process for all 8 cylinders. Once you're done, go back and look at the numbers, and it should be readily apparent if you have an issue. For me, it's clear that cylinder 8 is down a bit compared to the others in the compression department. We actually knew this was most likely the case before hooking up the tool because the number 8 spark plug was pretty nasty looking. So we know that the truck will need a bottom end rebuild down the road, but for now, the compression is high enough that we can keep driving it as is while keeping an eye on the plugs. While we were under the hood, it was time to replace that scary glass fuel filter with a much smarter metal one. One of the main issues that's been bugging me since I've started driving this truck has been the cooling situation. The currently installed aluminum radiator is massive. The fan spins strongly. I've replaced the thermostat and I've verified that it seems to be working. Yet as soon as I hit any bit of traffic, I see the temperature rising. Now, that's not out of the norm for an older machine. What bugs me is that it doesn't want to go back down once I'm rolling. There's no shroud on it. Yes, I know that's part of the problem. Still, I may just go with electric fans so that I don't have to worry about cooling at all. After all, this is Southern California, and the truck's bound to be stuck in traffic at some point. While I was in a place with a lift, it was time for me to finally eyeball the drive shaft. The truck has a pretty strong vibration when it's driven between 30 and 40 miles per hour. Rated around 41 miles per hour, the vibration disappears completely. Some had speculated that if I rotated the tires, the vibration would disappear. We did that once we mounted and balanced the tires on the new wheels, but no. It's still there, and it's in the exact same spot as it was before. So we lifted up the truck and had someone sit in the cab while we were doing so that we could watch the drive shaft. And holy hell is that thing moving around. The rear section looks to be sticking out a bit further from the center bearing than it should be, and that center bearing itself is worn out. So add that to the list of things I need to do. Thankfully, the drive shaft work doesn't seem too difficult, and a new center bearing costs about $14. So I've got a better understanding of what lies ahead of me for the truck. The engine will need a rebuild down the road, which means the idiotic side of my brain is already thinking about potential swaps, while the more rational side plans to stay the course with this 352 until it's a bit more run down. I plan to swap in an electric fan setup and remove that engine-driven fan off the front of this V8. I want to be able to sit in LA traffic and not have a single worry with regards to keeping this thing cool. Our new wheels from LMC Truck look awesome, but they definitely need some new rubber wrapped around them. More on that soon. Next up for the truck, we're going to be installing a radio that looks old but hides modern tech. We're going to be swapping out the old steering wheel for a new one, and we're fitting a roll pan to the rear end so I actually have a place to mount my license plate rather than having it taped in the rear window. So this is all just the start for HoonTruck, and I hope you're enjoying the journey so far, but stay tuned for so much more.